AI generated told me avatars are the future of content creation. With 2026 just around the corner, I thought it was the perfect moment to pause and show you guys how this new AI model is completely disrupting the thumbnail games. I know most creators are simply expensive studio sessions, spending 2 to 3 hours making weight freezy, and paying 300 every single month just to have fresh thumbnail content. But I've been testing this tool that automates the entire process, literally so and cheaper. So if you're a content creator looking to cut costs in 2026, or you're thinking about starting a sawmill design agency around this technology, this is going to be a must watch. We are going to break down the models, the cost, the quality comparison, and exactly how you can implement this starting today. Alright, so before we get into the actual build, let me show you exactly what we are working with today. We're going to need 3 tools to make this happen. The first tool is going to be our workflow orchestrator, and if you follow this channel, you already know what that is. It's anything, and that's what's going to power the entire automation behind the scenes. And now, as for the other tools we are using, I'm going to review those as we move in through the video, because if I throw all the tools name out there right as you, it's not going to make any sense. But when you see them in action, you are going to understand exactly what role each one plays in the system, and it's going to like click instantly. So stick with me throughout the build. Just keep ahead because every piece is important, and I promise by then you have a complete picture. So let's get into it. And real quick before we jump in, if you stay to the very end of this video, I'm going to give you the complete system, all the prompts, the workflow templates, everything you need to set up yourself completely free in my Wolf community. The link is going to be in the description, but I'll also remind you at the end of the video. Now, you're going to get the plug and play system that you can start using today. All right, let's view this thing. So now we're already in our anytime workflow. I already told you we're going to use KI and image.io for image that we want to upload to the cloud. Because if you want to use this KI API, we need to first upload our image to the cloud. So I think the only option we have to use it through a particular API endpoint is to upload the file online to an online server. So it's going to get the file from the online server and process it. So before you build our avatar creator, I'll just first make sure you are sending the right response, the right API. So right now, we're just going to click on HTTP request. And what we're going to do with this HTTP request, we are going to like send requests from anything to KI, which is where we are going to build our avatars and stuff like that. Just do that right now. So after signing into your KI, you are going to fund this with maybe show you the market. So show you billing, so you can just add maybe $5. And if you are from Nigeria or stuff, you can just use Gray. So right now, KI has different models, but the ones we want to use right now are the ones with AI image API. There's Nano Banana, there's Seedream, there's 4.0, there's Flux on Textbook. Seedream is the best in my own opinion for this kind of thing. And it's very, very cheap compared to Nano Banana and other Kuku and other image generation models. So we are going to go for Seedream. So while we are in Seedream, the thing we need to do is we need to send instead of us doing these things manually from here, we need to send response from anything into our GAI. So we are not using the we are not using the Seedream text to image model. We are going to use the edit model because it needs to upload the passport picture of us. So that picture that we uploaded is what we are going to edit to get the kind of avatar we want to use, maybe a smiling avatar or a frowning avatar, or something like that. So right now, I'll just come here. You see this API section. You come here. Now, key here is that you need to have 2 API endpoints. First one, you want to send request inside of KI. Second one is you want to get request inside of KI. So let me just break it down to make it more simpler for you. Here is anything. This is our workflow orchestrator. This is KI and this is anything. So when we send the response from anything, it's going to go to KI. And when you are sending response to KI, we can only send 2 types of responses. The prompt to generate the image or something like that. The other API call we can generate is to like fetch the status, whether the stuff is generating or whether it's done generating. So that's why we have 2 APIs there. And after that, if it's done generating, it's going to send the response back to our anything. So this is basically how the workflow structure is going to be. So now, for us to like send an endpoint into KI, you just have to come here. Then you come here. So you click on copy, then you come back here. So you click on import score, then you paste. Then click on import. So right now, this is where you're going to send a response to KI directly. Before you send the response, you need to get your API key and link it to that. And after getting your API key, you are going to be able to send the response. So right now, for you to get your API key, just come here to this API key management. We are going to have an API key that is going to come like this. And if you don't, you can just create a new API key. So that's very simple to do. So I'll just copy my own API key and I'll add it in real quick. So yeah, that's done. So now I'll just, before I execute this step, let me just show you what we are doing right now. Refer to this logo, pretty simple visual showcase of what does pop name KI. You still find branded items together in the packaging box, yes, the castle box, rebound, and the lanyard. Use blue as the main visual color with font, simple, modern style. So this is the image you want to like reference. Right now, that's the same thing we copy. Refer to this logo, and this is the URL to the logo. I told you guys that for you to be able to use GAI, you need to like upload it to an online server. You can see this is logo. So you don't know that. So I'll just test this out now. There's a case workflow. So you can see it's 200 code success. So if it's an error, you're going to see it's going to be an error. But the thing about the beauty of it is that while this is running, you can always see the log instead of KI right here. Logs. So you see it says running. But now the problem is when you're inside of anything, you don't know whether you don't see what's happening in GI. So that's why you need to always ask whether it's done or whether it's processing. So for you to do that, that's where we need second endpoints, which is the first status endpoint. They'll come back here, click on this HTTP request. So then we'll go back to TAI. We're going to get the other API endpoints. So get the creators. So even if very simple, come here and come here, import scroll, click on import. So now the only file you need here is task ID. That's what you're going to confirm whether the store is still processing or it's done. So I'll just clean this out, then I'll drag this node inside of here. So that's the task ID for this particular execution. Then our API key again. So copy and paste. So now I'll just execute step. Problem lost connection with server. Let's just do that again. Okay. So I don't know what happened the other time, but my network kind of disconnected. So in case of that, I'll just click on this next time. I'll just pin the data from the previous node. So right now, we just have to connect the second API endpoints to confirm whether the stuff is done. So to confirm whether the stuff is done, then I'll click on execute step. So this is using this task ID to fetch the response from KI to confirm whether the image is done generating or not. Alright, so now it's done. You can see it set success. So what we really need is this link here. So I just copy it, paste in here. So it's going to download it automatically, and after download, it's just going to have a look at the image. So you can see this like pretty neat. What you did there is very, very clean. If we check the user's example, if you check on the user's example, you can see this, and image, and this, right? So alright, so that's done. Now let's create our main avatar. Since the endpoint is not working, so let's just create our own avatar. Okay, so now we've seen how we were able to set up the basic workflow, but pay close attention to this next part because this is where the real magic happens. Right now, we're already sending requests to both endpoints and receiving responses back. This structure right here, this is the foundation we are going to like build the entire system up. The first thing we need to do is we need to first upload our image into an online cloud or something of that sort. So for us to do that, we are using this image IO. You can just sign in and create your account. I think you're going to give you a free 25 people something. I'm not sure whether it's still up to that at this point. We can just start for free. So we should log me into my own dashboard. It's logging me into my dashboard already. Then I'll just upload the picture real quick. So for you to upload an image, you come to the media library. And click on add new file upload. Upload file. So now while it's uploading, I'll just come back here. Then first of all create a set field. And this set field, we are going to have two functions. We are going to have the image prompts, and we're going to have the image URL. So let's check. Yep, okay, still playing. So in these image prompts, I'll just go with prompting. So alright, here's the prompt. I might not be strong with this kind of prompting, but I can just copy these or everything will be in my free community, so you can just take from there. So this is the image prompting. Then we need the image URL. Then I'm just going to copy the link, copy URL here, I'll come back here now, 3 days in. So when we click on execute step, so we just bring this our previous node that we connected, the one we started there is the endpoint. So for us to use these, we have to like first do some edits. So you can see, let me just show you guys this expression section. This is the prompts. So for this prompt, we need to replace it with these our prompts. So for us to do that, we just do this, cancel it out. Then we put it there. So we check the see our prompt is right there. Then we need to replace the image URL with our own image URL. So now we click on execute step. That's already done. It sends the response. So but right now I'll just have to do something real quick. Now let's confirm whether it's done. So now that's done, we need to confirm whether the avatar has been generated inside of our key AI. So for us to do that, we need to run this first. Execute step. You can see it says success and this test also is success. So now we copy the link, out of it and stuff like that. So I'll just do that real quick. So you can see this image. I think this one is the previous one, and this one you can see how this is, but it's still making sense. You can use something like that. So for now, we can keep on executing this step every time. We just like create some sort of like loop function that is going to um let us know whether it's done or not. So after it's done, then it's going to fetch it for us automatically. So for us to do that, let me just first create a wait step here. So the wait is going to be 5 seconds. Let's just use a 5 seconds for now. So after that, it's going to like get whether the stuff is done. So and if it's not yet done, so we have a condition right there. So what is the condition? The condition is going to be if this state is equals to success, then now let's go to true. It's going to go to the true node. So let me just pin this right now. Pin this right now. So you can see state is success. So I pin this right now and I run this. So you can see it's when it's through the true node, which means it's done executing. So that's what it means. So if it's not yet done executing, then it's always like come back here to this wait process, wait for another 5 seconds, search whether it's done, come back here. If it's done, then it's going to go to the true node. So one last thing before we move on, I want to map out this. If you notice, I said there that this is not a normal URL. We just like get our actual URL, and for us to do that, we are going to use set fields again. Set fields is like a very very powerful node in anything. So now I'm going to come here to dots extract URL. So when I click on execute step, so you can see it's done execution. It's coming to URL, but there's this column bracket and this close bracket there. So for us to like clean this up, we are going to use something called the radius function. Guys, don't just I'll just add everything right now and explain how it works. So now here the radius function is like going to replace everything. Whether it's sometimes key gives us outputs in PNG, GPG, yeah. So anything that is after the output is going to replace with either one of these. It's going to replace with that the one of the main extension. So you can see it's got rid of this. It's just now those PNGs. We write execute now, execute step. So if we check, all we got here is just only our URL instead of just copying and editing and everything like that. So I will paste it in here. See. Okay, right. So right now we are done with that. So let's just run this once more. Yeah, save. So then now we just execute workflow. So you can see it's going to wait. So it's not yet done generating. That's why I came back here with another 5 seconds. Pull the request, then it's not done again. Came back here with another 5 seconds. That's not done, that's like 10 seconds now. Come back here then. Put it again, just 5 seconds. Okay, now it's done. So let's just check our avatar. Okay. So you can see, you can look at the fine by smiling there. So hi guys, this is how this is. So anytime you want to create unlimited avatars, maybe for your YouTube video or maybe for any other things, you can just use these two. And everything in this is going to be my free community in the description below. So just click on the link, join and grab your free resources. So next video I'm thinking of doing is to teach you guys how you can upload which data from anything. So if you guys look forward to that, just like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, so now what I'm showing you today is just for some mere avatars, but here's what's crazy. This same system can be adapted for so much more. I mean, so much more. And in my coming videos, I'm going to show you guys how to take this exact workflow and scale it into completely different use cases. I'm talking about AI static ads, AI product video, PG style videos, faceless YouTube channels, AI spokesperson, custom avatar animation, and the list goes on. And here is the best part. We're already gonna have 80% of the system used from what we are doing today. So all the heavy lifting has been done. You just have to plug in different outputs and a few other nodes. So make sure you subscribe with that bell icon turned on because these videos are dropping soon. And trust me, you don't want to miss them because you are literally going to the next one we are building today. Alright, there you have it, your complete AI thumbnail system that costs 100 times less than a traditional studio session. Now, like I promised at the beginning, I've got the entire system, all the prompts, all the workflow templates, and the tool list, everything packaged in my free hope community. The link is down in the description. Just click that, join the community, and you get instant access to a complete summary of avatar systems, plus a ton of other AI and automation resources. And before you go, let me know in the comments. Are you going to use this for your own content? So you are thinking about offering it as a service. I'm curious to see what you guys video with this. And yeah, don't skip that customer support AI agents video I dropped recently. Now, that one's crazy. Yeah, I handle customer inquiry in multiple languages, recommend products, understands people's emotions, and scales it to email agents automatically, books appointments, everything. You just love it. So guys, as always, I'm Nias, your automation buddy. Keep building, and I'll see you in the next one.